My name is Mary Dotson, and today I'm going to share with you my structured work system that I created. I created the structured work system for a kindergarten boy. He has IEP goals for reading and math, as well as communication. He has a lot of stuttering issues, so it can be hard to understand him when he's trying to verbalize things. So he definitely benefits from using visuals with him, as well as the ability for him to use visuals to communicate. He very much benefits from routines. He is very rigid in his routine, and so he learns procedures quickly, learns routines quickly, and likes things to stay the way that he remembers them. So he has a little bit of a challenge with transitions and flexibility with that. Also has some significant sensory needs related to his autism diagnosis, so I'll share with you some of the adaptations I made to the structured work system to best support him. So first I will share some notes about the storage for my work system. So Carter will enter my room and he always comes to this space, and I have the stool labeled with his name as well as the binder, so he knows that is his space. And that's where the work system materials will be. Before that, he always goes to my whiteboard, which has his name, and underneath there are some visuals which indicate the tasks that he'll need to complete. As you can see, there's 4 tasks, and I'll zoom in. Number 1 shows a name writing activity, 2 is a letter sort, 3 is a math activity, and number 4 with the smiley face will be his reward once he completes all of those tasks. So he'll always check here first to know what his tasks are, and he knows that in the binder is his first task, so he will grab the binder and bring it to his workspace. A note about that, I have some sensory items here for him. So the kick band, which he really enjoys being able to have that resistance when he is really active with his feet usually. He also has the wiggle seat, which helps give him that kind of raise him up to the table, but also that sensory stimulation from that textured side that he sits on. I also have taped off his boundaries so he can see the visual boundaries of his space, as well as he has the done card, which is where he will set the materials when he's done with each task. So the first thing he will do is open the binder, and he'll have a whiteboard marker to trace his name, and then he'll turn the page and write his name. After completing that, he moves it over to the done side of the table. Then he'll come back, and one thing that's really motivational for him is getting to move my magnets. So I have 4 magnets with check marks, which he knows is a symbol for things being completed or done. So he will, once he's done with the first task, he'll move this magnet up here to indicate that he completed that task, and then he will grab the next item. This next one is his letter sort. He does every day, and these are letters that he's mastered. So he will sort the letters, matching them up, all 4. And I keep it a small amount just because we don't want to take up too much time with it, but it's enough that gives him that practice matching up the letters. Move it over to the done side. And it continues in this order. Task number 3 is his number book. So he can slide this out of his clipboard. He would open up his number book, and he can either match, look for the number 2, and then he would find the matching post-it note to move it into the box. Usually he'll choose to count the eyes to make sure he's correct, which is, I remind him, is a great strategy. So it's kind of interesting to watch how he goes about completing these tasks. It helps me get some ideas of what strategies we need to work on. So once Carter has finished all his tasks, he will pick a game on the iPad. I think the biggest struggle for completing the structured work system for me is making sure that Carter will be independent with the tasks and also the procedures related to the tasks. I think especially in kindergarten and coupling that with special ed, the retention of information and the ability to produce the similar results multiple days can be challenging sometimes. But I think that it gives me a really good idea of what skills we need to reinforce, what skills are solid. This is typically how we start our lessons in my specially designed instruction, is by having him complete this kind of structured work system. And then we go into our instruction from there. I think it's just a matter of keeping in mind what Carter's strengths and what his needs are, and also communicating that in the general education classroom as well, because their things are done kind of a bit differently in the kindergarten classroom, so making sure there's good communication between myself and the kindergarten teacher to make sure that Carter is supported when he has to make those transitions and be more flexible with change in the classroom. And one other modification I've had to make to the structured work system is with my use of prompting. So one challenge for me has been always wanting to jump in and give Carter a verbal prompt to tell him what he needs to do, but I want to really try and rely on using those nonverbals, using the visuals, which have been found to be successful with Carter as he learns. So continuing to rely on the visuals, using pointing, and slowly fading those prompts as Carter becomes more independent with the structure and his ability to complete those tasks on his own. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.